Angel Reese's delusional confidence in herself has reached a whole new level, as she now believes she's the best player in the WNBA and the focus of every scouting report. So now every glare, every petty quip, every on-court scuffle is basically her waving a neon sign that screams, "Hey America, look at me." Because let's face it, Reese didn't sign that contract thinking she'd be the chorus line while Caitlin Clark belts out solos and racks up standing ovations. Stick around, because this show's got more twist than a soap opera, and just when you think Angel couldn't get any more hilariously out of touch, she drops another gem for the cameras. Now apparently, teams aren't just prepping to stop Caitlin Clark, the woman casually rewriting basketball history every time she ties her shoes. No, according to Angel, they're burning the midnight oil, frantically plotting ways to neutralize her. Picture this. Coaches hunched over screens, coffee gone cold, mumbling, "How do we stop Angel Reese?" As if she's some unstoppable force blowing through the league like a tornado. In reality, she's missed more layups this season than she's won games. It's almost kind of adorable, like the boundless confidence you see in kids who wear capes to the grocery store. Let's be real. If Angel's name is on the scouting report, it probably says, "Watch for the dramatics," not "triple team immediately," because let's be honest, teams aren't losing sleep trying to keep her from dropping 40. They're probably just making sure she doesn't turn the third quarter into her personal reality show. But, hey, full credit to Angel. She's saying it loud with her chest, even if the receipts are missing. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here treating basketball history like her personal canvas, breaking records with casual logo threes and feeding highlight reel assists like she's handing out snacks. Angel's box scores? A polite shrug at best. Maybe one game all season that made fans raise an eyebrow and say, "Okay, that's the Reese we remember." One sparkler in a sea of May. Yet somehow, she's convinced that every defense is collapsing on her, like she's the second coming of Shaq. Please. If multiple defenders are converging, it's probably by accident. There are backup point guards in this league who get more serious coverage than Angel does in post-game highlight reels. Please tell me it's a fake quote. Please tell me this is a fake quote. Because this is something where it's like, everyone says and is like, "Oh, Angel's a developing player." It's like, "Oh, she's only in year 2. Why is everyone like going at Angel Reese and all this stuff?" And, oh, people can't stop talking about Angel Reese. And it only gets funnier when you imagine coaches wasting practice hours on how to slow her down when half the time she's busy bricking shots off the backboard all by herself. This isn't some hot rivalry anymore, it's rerun TV. Caitlin didn't just take the spotlight and run. She packed it up in her duffel and left the building. She's not even competing with Angel at this point. She's busy challenging history books. Meanwhile, Angel is still battling her own stat sheet, and spoiler alert, she's losing. But I will say, Angel Reese, Ronnie and I have debated it on the program. Ronnie has been pretty clear that he thinks that she sucks at basketball. I have defended her as having dimensions of her game that are high level. I got to a point here a couple of weeks ago where I was starting to wonder if she actually sucked, yet here she comes again, strutting into interviews dripping with misplaced swagger, convinced that being on a scouting report means teams are panicking over how to handle her. Reality check. If she's being scouted, it's to make sure she doesn't rack up techs or start her own half-court drama series. Gotta admire the hustle, though. Angel's turned solidly average performances into the stuff of legend, at least in her own mind. It's like watching someone airball 5 free throws and then beam at the crowd, asking if they captured the magic on camera. Angel's basically standing in the middle of a cafeteria food fight shouting, "Look, I started a revolution." Meanwhile, instead of reflecting on her flat-footed rebounds or sloppy turnovers, she's out here diagnosing the problem as, "I'm just too much of a threat." As if defenses are breaking into cold sweats, or coaches are circling her name in red marker like it's a national emergency. If anything, those scouting notes probably say, "Talks big. Barks a lot. Not sure about the bite." Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is the reason defensive coordinators look like they've aged 10 years by the final buzzer. And honestly, it's almost cute. They're game planning for me too. Energy would have made a smidge more sense back in college. At LSU, sure, Angel flexed. She bullied the paint, stacked double-doubles, did the too small taunt like it was a TikTok dance challenge. But in the pros, that hype has moved on, especially when you get your own rebounds to pad your stats. It's getting hard to figure out if Angel genuinely believes this stuff or if she's just trolling for free publicity. Either way, bravo, because no matter how lukewarm her stats, she's keeping her name in the headlines. It's marketing wizardry dressed up in on-court mediocrity. Maybe defenses are paying attention, but not because she's putting them in crisis mode. More likely, they're bracing to see if she'll rack up more technicals than buckets this month. Still, Angel says it with so much gusto, you almost want to buy in. She's like a magician pulling scarves from an empty sleeve, insisting it's next-level sorcery. So while Angel Reese spins her PR stories about being the league's biggest problem, Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hull, and the Indiana Fever are out here turning games into highlight reels, filling arenas, and forcing every coach in the WNBA to scrap their defensive schemes overnight. That's the real difference. Clark is out there rewriting the game, Lexi's clamping down on stars twice her paycheck, and the Fever are building something scary. Meanwhile, Angel's still trying to convince everyone the hype train's on her track. Someone might want to tell her that train already left the station, and Caitlin's the one driving it. We've all seen this show before. The big declarations, the chest thumps, the carefully crafted monologues. But we also know exactly how it ends. No matter how many self-hype speeches Angel Reese delivers, it's not going to reboot a rivalry that's become as lopsided as a teeter-totter with a bowling ball on one side. It's not a duel when one is soaring and the other's circling the drain. Angel's out here acting like she landed the starring role in a blockbuster she didn't even audition for. She's got the soliloquies, the glittery wardrobe, the red carpet energy. But check the credits. That film's already in theaters, and her name's nowhere on the marquee. I stay consistent as possible. I was sugar in the first couple of games, in just staying poised, just on my work. I read people in my corner. I never really question my ability of what I can do. Obviously, so you go up and down through your career in. Thinking in the beginning you're going to do my sophomore slump, but I got out of it in my first couple of games, and I'm here. I'm in helping the team win as much as I can. That's the most important thing to me. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's busy breaking records with the same chill as someone waiting for their latte. Calm, efficient, unfazed. And maybe that's what burns the most. It's not just that Caitlin's collecting trophies, headlines, sponsors. It's that she's doing it all without any grandstanding. No daily press conferences to remind people she matters. No teary post-game declarations. Just box scores that speak louder than any mic ever could. While Angel's out here campaigning for a crown, Caitlin's too busy building an empire to look back. And if this was Angel's grand campaign to claim equal billing, the league just answered by throwing Caitlin Clark onto another primetime national broadcast and scheduling Angel's game for a sleepy Tuesday slot no one remembered to stream. That's the real scouting report. Angel's out here trying to be the artist, the critic, and the museum curator, all wrapped into one. But the joke's on her, because by constantly shouting about how she's why people are watching, Reese is actually proving the opposite. If you're truly the main character, you don't have to keep telling the audience. The lights just naturally follow. Greatness has a gravity. It pulls eyes in without effort. But every time Angel starts a sentence with, I deserve recognition too, it feels less like confidence and more like bedazzled insecurity. And yet, here we all are. Watching, debating, memeing. Because Angel Reese may not be the spark that started the fire, but she's absolutely one of the reasons it's still burning. This drama is reality TV laced up in high tops, and Angel's the unpredictable wildcard every good show needs. So maybe it's not about who rightfully gets the credit. Maybe it's about keeping the tension sizzling just enough to keep the cameras rolling and the articles pumping. Angel doesn't seem that pressed about being universally adored. What she wants is to be undeniably noticed. And on that front, mission wildly accomplished. She drops a soundbite, and whether you rolled your eyes, snorted, or typed up a long-winded comment from your couch, she won. We're all here, talking. Because Angel understands a simple marketing truth. If you can't be the headline, be the reason the headline exists. And right now, that's exactly her lane, loud and glittery as ever. The funniest part? Angel Reese probably does believe she and Caitlin Clark are co-pilots steering the WNBA hype jet together. Like they both signed the same mega deal, split the spotlight 50-50, and are just cruising along side by side. As if Nike, ESPN, and every sponsor out there don't have Caitlin Clark's face laminated on a Save Women's Sports folder. Angel wants to sell this fairy tale that she's riding shotgun on this rocket. And yes, she's a big name in her own right, But when it comes to pure gravitational pull, she's not drinking from the same marketing fire hose. She's catching droplets and calling it a tsunami. And the jealousy? It's about as subtle as a foghorn. Dressed up in faux swagger, stamped with, just keeping it real. But everyone can smell it. It's the kind of envy that creeps in when you realize the so-called rival is the reason the camera showed up in the first place. So what's Angel's strategy? Make sure to mention herself every chance she gets, in every quote, even if the question was about Caitlin's latest triple-double. It's like photobombing history with the world's loudest, "Hey, don't forget me." Meanwhile, Caitlin's just out here hooping, getting slammed to the hardwood, popping back up, and draining shots from 28 feet away, with a face that says she's more concerned about balancing her budget spreadsheet. She's not stirring the pot, she owns the pot. Angel, meanwhile, is busy tossing in extra hot sauce like it's a chili contest. There's something almost comical about how one-sided this rivalry really is. Caitlin's just focused on the next logo 3. Angel's out here with a 90-minute stand-up routine on why she deserves a bouquet. But look, this isn't pure slander. Angel absolutely brings value. That's what makes the whole spectacle so entertaining. And the media, they're feasting like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Every time Angel drops a quote, a fresh headline's born. Reese sounds off. Reese claps back. Reese throws subtle shade. It's content on a silver platter, and we all keep slicing in for more. Even the league's playing along perfectly. WNBA marketing has Caitlin's face on everything from soda cups to foam fingers, while simultaneously slotting Angel into every spicy mic opportunity they can. It's genius. Caitlin's the clean-cut golden goose, Angel's the shade-throwing goose who keeps the internet buzzing. It's TV gold. It's also a tiny bit sad if you peek under the hood and realize Angel's trying so hard to reshape a narrative that was never really about her. I'll look back at 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watch women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this day, and you can feel the tension crackling. The more fans chant for Caitlin, the more Angel seems determined to shout, "Hey, don't overlook me." She craves that MVP chant, that feature segment, that #1 selling jersey moment. And weirdly, it's sort of working. Even if fans aren't chanting her name, they're typing it, debating it, clicking it. But here's the kicker she probably doesn't want to hear. The more she tries to wedge herself into the reason people are watching, the clearer it becomes that they weren't watching for her in the first place. It's giving please clap vibes. Like throwing your own birthday bash and getting salty when everyone shows up with presents for your sister. Instead of staking her brand on her actual skills, she's clinging to the belief that she's entitled to share someone else's spotlight. She wants half the glow without matching the wattage. She's not asking to be praised for her brilliance, she's demanding to be credited for Caitlin's. The hilarious twist? All this chaos might secretly be the best thing Angel's got going. If she'd just lean all the way into being the league's ultimate heel, stop pretending the crowd owes her cheers and embrace her role as the resident pot stirrer, she'd be unstoppable. Maybe that is her real legacy, because whether you root for her or against her, Angel Reese is delivering exactly what the WNBA needs. Tension, drama, comedy, and a side of, hold my earrings.